Hello everyone, welcome. Thank you for joining me today for our live Instagram messages for the week. This is going to be for July 19th to the 25th, and we're going to start with Capricorn and work our way down to Sagittarius. Now, if this is your first time joining me for the Instagram live, each reading is about 8 to 10 minutes. So if you're looking for a more in-depth reading, you can always check out my YouTube channel where the readings are a little bit more in depth. And then if you really want to get into it, you can always contact me for a personal reading. Okay, so let's jump right in for Capricorn and see what messages we have for Capricorn for the week of July 19th to the 25th. Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's get started. Okay. Just going to get all the cards laid out first. I decided to do full spreads instead of just the 5 card. And I think that will help give a little bit more clarity for everyone. Okay. All right, Capricorn, let's get started with your messages for the week. Okay, so Capricorn, I see right now you are desperately trying to understand yourself. You are really trying to understand who you are and how you can use your how you can use your inspiration, spirit, how you can use these things to be authentic in the real world without having loss. My Capricorns out there, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you're really in a place right now where you're trying to get something moving in the external world, and yet you're finding that every turn is challenge. At every turn, there's an obstacle. At every turn, you're finding something that seems like a loss. And as a result, you're wondering sort of if you should just pack it all in and say, forget it. I don't need to do this. I wouldn't be surprised if you've come upon some days, my dear Capricorn, where you just thought, I'm out of here. I'm not even that's it. I give up. So it's almost like you have been feeling defeated. Okay, you have been feeling defeated, but you better get ready for a sudden change in your life cycle, because look at this, Knight of Swords in the upcoming future for you. So we're going to interpret that as being this coming week. So it looks like right now you're in a place where you're feeling like you've got to sacrifice things. You're not sure if it's all part of the process, but you think it is, but you're not sure. You keep wondering. You're battling with a lot of truth, as you can see in the 5 here, as well as you've got 2 7s here. So that's really choice. You're trying to make some choices and they're challenging. You're trying to make mental choices and you're trying to make choices about your inspiration, and they're really challenging you. And for some reason, your mindset, Capricorn, is that you're taking loss after loss after loss. And so that's really holding you back. This idea that you're suffering losses. Now, in the recent past, you have had to fight this lion. So you might be sort of wondering if this is all part of the process, because it has not been smooth. You have been struggling. But I really think your struggles are almost over. I think this has just been the beginning of a bigger transformation for you, Capricorn. And coming up for this week, it looks like you better get ready and start preparing for some big shifts. I think Capricorns are going to experience a big jump in confidence this week, and things are sort of going to become, it's going to be a whole new world. As I can see here, your inner dialogue right now, Capricorn, is quite open. You're not feeling the sort of immovable quality that you would if the Queen of Swords was upright. Right now you are feeling it in reverse, which suggests that you're open to suggestion. Whereas the Queen of Swords usually is not open to suggestion. She knows who she is, and she's an immovable force. She's not swayable. Right now, you're sort of malleable. You're very flexible. You're not married to a definition of yourself right now, which makes sense because it looks like you're trying to formulate that. Now, the outer world seems to see you in the same way, Emperor in reverse, which suggests that not only is the feminine nature inside of you sort of at odds, but so is the masculine energy. So it's sort of like you're creating a new life. You are creating a new outline of who you are. It's not even just what you'll be doing or, your activities or your day-to-day, but it's you fundamentally. The way that you conduct yourself, your authority over yourself, your sense of independence, your sense of being self-reliant and being able to be a leader that has new qualities that I think you're beginning to understand. And the rest of the world certainly sees that. This is the mask you wear. So the outer world really sees you as redefining yourself. And on the inside, you see yourself as sort of discovering who you are. It's almost like you're unbecoming the things that you thought you were. It's like you're unstitching the pattern to see, okay, what's inside here. Let's build this up from the inside out, right? And it's kind of interesting. You're starting with your thought patterns. You're starting with your ideals. You're starting with things that you believe about yourself and the rest of the world potentially. And then after that, it's going to hit you in the soul. It's going to hit you on a more inner level than just your thoughts. It's going to really come into play with how you take that inner being and how you express it in the outer world. It's going to be quite a different picture. Now, I can see here that your biggest hopes and fears are that you're trying so hard. You're doing so much work, Capricorn. This is the Eight of Pentacles. Eights are always about understanding the truth in a way that's more individual. I like to think of it like this is about you. This is the truth about your efforts, skills, talents, and abilities. And so it's like you're starting to understand who you are and what you're capable of and what you potentially are here to do. I see wands here. So, in the very beginning, the Seven of Wands, which really suggests that you're battling the external world to find a place for your authenticity, right? And it's really, you're trying to make something happen and you're worried that your efforts won't yield any results. And that's very interesting. But you do really want this. I see a big shift coming for you. And it's almost like you're being guided to prepare for it. Nights are always about an emerging energy that's actually going to step in to physical form. It's no longer just an inspiration. And then at the final end here, we see the Knight of Rods, which suggests that you're going to need to start to really cultivate these new ideas, and it's gonna be a bit of a challenge, okay? Like it's almost like you are at a place right now, Capricorn, where it's getting really challenging to understand where you're headed. A part of you just does not seem to know exactly what's going on yet. And that's okay. I think you're the only one that doesn't think it's okay, Capricorn, because you're sort of, it's like you're really putting pressure on yourself and you're assessing everything as a loss. Anytime something happens that seems like an obstacle, you're like, well, that's it. I'm defeated. I'm out. I'm going to call this. I'm calling it. I'll just go back to whatever else I was doing before. But it's like, no, just understand that whatever comes in that may feel like an obstacle, just release your resistance of it and sort of accept it as part of the plan, right? You see the Hanged Man here at the bottom of the matter here, which suggests that any sort of sacrifices that do come up are going to be part of the process, Capricorn. So it's like you need to just be chill. You need to hang in there, just like the Hanged Man. He has put himself in this position voluntarily because he understands sacrifice is part of the process, okay? And that divine timing is divine timing. So there's really there's this element here where it's almost like you're trying to rush things beyond their natural timing, Capricorn. And that's not going to serve you. And it'll probably keep you in this mode where you just want to flee. And fleeing is one way to handle it, for sure. But I don't know, it doesn't seem like that. I think you're reacting. I think this is a reaction less than an actual choice that you're making mindfully. So my Capricorns, for your week ahead, I think what you need to focus on is your confidence in yourself, your inner dialogue, and to relax, to try to trust the process and release control over that process. Don't try to control the process so much. Sorry, that card went flying and I don't see where it went. Doesn't want to be discovered. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the card you got is New Life. And it took me some time to get to it. So just like that, Capricorn, it could take you some time to get to it too. But that doesn't mean you need to give up. You are headed towards a new life. This is a beautiful card for you to receive. And, you know, you're evolving. You're evolving into the next phase of yourself, and you just need to be patient. This is all divinely timed, my dear Capricorns. Okay, beautiful start to our messages for the week. Okay, Capricorn, thank you so much. Now, if you're gonna miss this live broadcast, this will be saved on Instagram TV as well as on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to see the timestamps. And then you can look at your reading whenever you have a time, or when you have the chance. Okay, now let's move on to our Aquarius friends here. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the upcoming week of July 19th to the 25th. You can find a more in-depth reading on my YouTube channel. I've already posted July 19th to the 25th. I think I just have 4 more left that are waiting to be posted, and then those will be ready for you on YouTube. Okay, let's see what messages we have for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Talia! Hello! I got my ring on. My friend bought me this ring from Egypt. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what's going on for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Yeah, Aquarius has been tugging at my heartstrings. Lots of stuff going on for Aquarius in the realms of emotion that are feeling unfamiliar here. Okay, Aquarius, let's see what's going on here. Now, okay, Aquarius, I see that you are trying to get yourself in a more, independent place where you're not relying on anyone for anything. You are really trying to be self-sufficient in every way, shape, and form that you can. And, it looks like the only thing holding you back is the fact that you're trying to do things the same old way, but you need to do them in a new way. This has been coming up for Aquarius quite a bit. So Aquarius, your obstacle right now is that you need to start new. You need to start a new path. You're not going to be able to enrich yourself and be self-sufficient the old way. The way you were doing things before is over. And now it's time to really start looking at how am I going to carve my path forward in a new direction, new manner, new direction. It's a brand new start, and it's a very auspicious one. You're being blessed here with some physical energy to get something off the ground, okay? And the only thing is, it's like it's holding you back in the sense that you don't know how this new start is going to lead you to being self-sufficient. You haven't figured that out yet, but that's almost part of it, right? Like that's the more I have been delving into my own spirituality and my own sort of self-discovery, the more I've understood that, you have to make room for the new first. You can't say, I'll be happy once everything is all aligned. No, you get happy and then everything aligns. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not the way we have been taught. We have been taught that you use your eyes to look around the world, and then you're reacting to what you see. That's actually not the case. You're creating what you see with your perception. You know, like if you're walking around feeling really like you're not enough, and that the world has really been cruel to you, no matter what you see in front of you with your eyeballs, Aquarius, you are not going to see abundance, because that's not what you feel on the inside. If you don't feel that abundance on the inside, you will never see it in the physical world. You have to feel it first, and then you will start to see it. It's all about perception. And I think that's the big lesson here for you, Aquarius. And yet all you can think about is meeting someone. My goodness, Aquarius, you just don't want to be alone. You don't want to be alone, Aquarius. Every reading I do for Aquarius, you see this image, you know. Aquarius doesn't want to be alone, and I have a feeling that you're going to need to. There's a lot of energy here that suggests that now is not the time for partnership. I think that could be the ultimate distraction for you, Aquarius. Right now, you need to be focusing on something that you're not, which is carving out your new path. King Midas is here to say, King Midas, you know, everything he touches turns to gold. So, and that's because of his perception of the world, not because, you know, he knows something that you don't about how to touch things to make them feel and become gold. Oh my God. Hi, Cody. It's so nice to see you too. In your little circle there, I can see you. You know, the King Midas knows that his perception is so sharp and clear about his abilities, and he is so confident in his ability to be able to face any challenge in the physical world. And yet I see this card for you in reverse right now, Aquarius, because top of mind for you seems to be a relationship with someone in the external world, whereas it really needs to be about the relationship with yourself. You really need to focus on the relationship with yourself right now, because for some reason you're caught up in whatever happened with this relationship. You can't seem to get past it. Every Aquarius reading has an element that suggests that they are still hung up on some relationship that ended in the past, and they have not been able to move on past it. And you've got to, okay? Look, it got you. Whatever that relationship was, look what it did to you, Aquarius. This is over. It's finished. You've got to walk away from this. There's nothing left here but to get up and move on. I'm sorry to be so blunt, Aquarius, but it's been months of this now. It's been months of these readings for you. Look at this guy. He needs to get up. He's not actually dead. I know he looks a little bit out of it, but his worst nightmare just came to life, okay? And it took him down. So now he needs to get up and realize that experience taught him something huge about himself, and he can get up and start a new chapter. This is a 10. This is the end of the line. It's time to start a new chapter, and everyone around you sees it. Everyone around you sees that you have this restless burning inside you that is like desperately trying to pull you down a new path. And yet all, my beautiful Aquarius, all you can think about is this person. And I have a feeling you screwed up. I'm sorry. I think you can't let this go because you screwed up something that you cannot stop thinking about this person anymore. They are top of mind. You wake up, they're your first thought. You go to bed, they're your last thought. This person is literally haunting your mind, okay? And you got to let them go. You've got to let them go. If they were meant to be with you, they'll be back. You got to focus on whatever this is. This is an initiation from Spirit to say to you, it's time to do something inspired. It's time to discover your passion and stop this restlessness, okay? And then when you see the Knight of Pentacles, it's really a time where it's like, hey, slow down and look around your life and see how grateful you should be for everything that you have. Slow down and stop thinking about things in the past. Stay in the now. This night wants you to stay in the present, not to wander back to the past. And it's almost like you want to do this, but you're so afraid that if you do this, you're going to lose the connection with whoever this person was. But I'm sorry, I think you've lost that connection already. And, you know, your final outcome here is on an emotional level, you feel bored. You feel bored and dissatisfied. So this week for you, Aquarius, my guidance for you from this reading is that you need to start being mindful about what's actually happening in your day, because in the upcoming future, it looks like things are going to balance out. You are going to find this balance, but it's like you're not going to find it until you've got to stop this rose-colored glasses looking in the past, reminiscing. You've just got to. You've got to find out what it is that Spirit wants you to do, irrespective of this union that didn't work out, that you can't stop thinking about. Interesting, as I'm shuffling, the Judgment card went right into my candle. So it's like, are you waiting for an outcome from this other, I don't know, maybe you're waiting on a conversation from this person. Let's see what the Oracle cards say. That was really funny. That card went right into the candle. I hope that was visible on the camera. It was kind of funny to see. Okay, let's see. What do the Oracle cards want to tell Aquarius with respect to this situation? Okay. By the book. No place like home. Let's take one more. Between two worlds. Yeah. You know, Aquarius, you really are between two worlds, but what's keeping you there is you. You're the one keeping yourself one foot in, one foot out, because you can't let go of whatever went down in the past. No Place Like Home really talks about the idea that your inner self is all that matters. The external world means nothing, okay? Whatever the opinion of the external world is of you, it's honestly none of your business, okay? The opinions of others is irrelevant. You shouldn't even ask people what they think. No, you just focus on what you think. What do you believe? What moves you, Aquarius? You are the only one that has to live with you in this little tiny house. This is you and you. No place like home. So you better make sure that your inner sanctuary is a sanctuary. You got to stop thinking about this silly thing that happened in the past. I'm calling it silly just because it's over. It's over. And I think you have received the judgment on it, that it's over, and you just can't let it go. And I'm sorry that that's so emotionally difficult, but you've got to go. By the book is a time where you've got to sort of let go of convention and just do things your own way. You gotta do things your own way, and you've got to release this. I know it's tricky, but you've got to try. You've got to try. That's the message for you this week, Aquarius, is you've got to try to sort of get mindful about your day to day and realize that actually everything is in perfect alignment for you to step into a brand new phase of yourself that starts with just appreciating what you have around you right now. So that tells me that this inspiration is all around you, and it's almost like you can't see it because you've got your head stuck in a book about the past, wondering if this is going to come back, wondering what happened here, and waiting for an answer, or wanting a conversation, or not agreeing with the outcome of this ending, right? And it's some of these things are out of our control, Aquarius. So wow, very interesting. Okay, Aquarius, I'm going to leave it at that for you. Your reading is on YouTube already, so if you would like a more in-depth analysis for the week, you can find it on YouTube. Okay, let's move on to Pisces, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of July 19th to the 25th. Let's see what messages we have for Pisces. Sun, Moon, and Rising. Pisces had a really interesting reading on YouTube about self-sacrifice. So let's see if it's the same sort of energy. Let's light another incense. There we go. I like to have incense when I do my readings. Okay, here we go. Let's see what's going on for Pisces. Okay, Pisces, yes. You are having a hard time being yourself and creative, and you're having a hard time being abundant and patient. And it's all because of struggles with the external world. There's that Seven of Wands again, but you have it in the crossing position. So it's really causing a lot of stress for you to have to battle the external world. There are people that you are questioning their motives. That was a big theme in your reading for the week on YouTube when I got into it a little bit more in depth. It was very clear that, Pisces, you've got people around you that you're not trusting right now, and you're starting to lose your patience. You're starting to lose your patience and compassion with these people. And, it's very interesting. It's almost like the self-sacrifice vibe. Like you are starting to step into this idea that it's not really about you constantly having to battle people, and it's not also about you constantly giving of yourself and never feeling that reciprocity from the people around you. So it really seems to me right now, Pisces, that you're going through a time where you're trying really to connect your vision to the external world and generate some change. You want to develop something new. You're feeling a little impulsive. You really want to evolve something into its next phase, but you're having a hard time doing that because there are people, you whether or not it's perceived or real, you really sense that the people around you have motives that are against you. Okay. Now, the interesting thing about this is top of mind is this idea that you really want to create something. You really want to, but it's so blocked. You're having such a hard time connecting with your intuition and connecting with that sort of creative force that we can tap into. You're having a hard time with that. And it really seems like there are people working against you. Whether or not they actually are working against you, in your perception, they are working against you. So that's really holding things back for you. Now, I see in the recent past here, you've been overthinking. Okay, you're sort of overthinking things. Sometimes overthinking is a really good way to procrastinate, you guys. You're delaying action. You're delaying decision more than action. You're delaying decision, and Pisces, you're procrastinating on a decision because you're afraid of the outcome. So I think you are ready to tell these people that you keep sort of sensing that are in your life that are no good for you. I think you're ready to sort of say, I'm cutting these cords. You're ready, but you're afraid of the consequences. So you're ready to do it, but you're a little bit like, oh my God, what is this going to look like? How are they going to react? What are the outcome? What's the outcome going to be? Are there unforeseen outcomes here that, I haven't anticipated and it could get really bad? What's going to happen when I cut these cords? So this is very interesting. In the future, I see that it looks like you will probably go ahead and do it, but it's going to be so difficult. This is a moment where you really have to face something honestly. And it's going to sort of feel like a loss on a mental level. In your mind, you're going to struggle with this. It's not necessarily going to be an emotional time, but it's definitely going to hurt your head. Like it's going to be something that really gets you maybe confused, maybe feeling disappointment, let down. It's a time where it's going to feel like a loss. You're going to feel like, by facing this truth honestly, yes, you can go forward now, but it's like you're going to go forward without those people. Okay? Those people were with you once, and now you're picking up your swords and you're just going home alone. And so it's like, it's going to feel sort of mentally uncomfortable, if that's a thing. But I think it's going to serve you in the end, because your final outcome card is the Chariot, and that is an amazing energy of you really balancing out everything and getting things in alignment. So I think this is going to go just fine. I think you're going to do it. It's like you're stepping past the curtain of illusion. You're going to step through that illusion that says the fear is real and the foreboding sense of outcome is real. You're going to step through that illusion like a curtain and then see the truth. right? And yes, the truth is going to feel uncomfortable at first, but it's going to help you align these horses so that you can drive your chariot in one direction. That's the direction you want to go on. That's based on your sort of your intuition. It's based on divine timing. It's based on the fire that burns within you, right? Like the chariot is Cancerian energy. It's very much, which Cancer is related to the moon. So it's very much sort of an unfamiliar sense of feminine energy that is like really, really creative and brings about mysterious change. Sorry, I struggled with that word. I was going to say it brings about mystery, and then I thought, no, mysterious change. Yeah, it brings about a mysterious, unfamiliar, unseeable, unknowable change, something that you usually only feel on your intuition. And so when this involves a big choice though, so you're going to do it. I really think my Pisces friends out there are going to do it, and you're just so worried what it's going to look like. You're worried once you take this action, what is the future going to look like for me without these people? What am I going to do once I sort of defend my authenticity against these people that are my competitors, or these people that are envious of me, what have you? You're curious, like, okay, what's it going to look like starting off on a new path without these people anymore? But you're going to have to heal from it. You're going to need to heal from this, and you're going to need to heal in isolation. And this card is in the position of sort of the mask the mask that other people in the external world see, and it's in reverse. So that says that the people around you are seeing that you are sort of resistant to the idea of separation. You are resistant to the idea of healing from this situation on a mental level. There's lots of swords here, right? Like in the past, you were afraid of consequences. In the future, you're going to face a truth. And then look what comes, right? These two cards follow each other in a very well shuffled deck. So that's different. 5 and 6. So you're going to go from fearing the consequences to facing the truth, to needing to heal from the truth, and really detach and sort of step away from that situation physically. You need to get away from this situation in order to see it from a different perspective so you can heal from it and move on. And this is in reverse. And that's how everyone sees it. So the people around you are seeing like, yeah, this person really needs some time to get away from this energy so that they can understand everything a little bit better. And yet they're not taking that time for themselves. They're not taking that time for themselves to do it. Now, on the inside, what I see for you is you're still in sacrifice. You're still in self-sacrifice mode here. We see justice in reverse. So that suggests that, you're not looking at things in a fair way. You might be putting more stuff on your end of the scale and leaving the other end empty. And so you're just giving and giving and giving and giving. That's what I see, Pisces. And it's been clear in a lot of your readings that you're totally in self-sacrifice mode, but that is not going to serve you. It's not going to serve you. It might be serving everyone up around you. But you know what? Everyone around you just wants more. They want a piece of you. They want more, and they want a piece of you, and you're done with it. And you know that. It's just so hard for you to deny people access to you. It's hard for you, Pisces, to say to people, no. It's very difficult for you to do that. But you need to. You need to. And the people around you know that you need to. It's very clear, okay? And you are looking at a future, but a little bit worried about it, but a little bit excited as well, but a little bit unsure. But I can see by the end of this, it looks like this week is going to be pretty transformative for you, Pisces. I think you're going to get really close to making this decision, if not doing it altogether. This is great. Now, let's see what the Oracle cards say for you. Oops. Just fell on the floor again. Come here, you. Okay. Let's see what the Oracle cards say for you. Oh, went right into my sweatshirt. Go the distance. Yeah, you've got to do it. You got to pull the cord on this, Pisces. It's time to go the distance. This card always really makes me excited to think you're almost there, right? If you've ever done a race or done any sort of event where there's a finish line, and man, you just want to tap out right at the end. You're like, oh, I don't think I can make it that last few kilometers or that last few miles, but you've just got to keep pushing because you're so close. You're so close to finalizing this cycle. You're so close to no longer being in complete self-sacrifice mode. You're so close. You know, I think you're going to get really close to crossing that finish line this week, getting some balance with respect to self-sacrifice and healing, I hope. You know, I know these are challenging for you. These are really challenging for you because it's going to feel unfamiliar for you to say no. But you've got to keep going the distance. You've got to put yourself first, Pisces. Okay, let's move on. Thank you so much, Pisces. Let's move on to Aries now. Sun, Moon, and Rising. See what the messages for the week are for Aries. Sun, Moon, and Rising for July 19th to the 25th. Oops. And we'll keep going. It's always such a nice day to do all of these. We're gonna do Aries now. Again, all of the more in-depth readings are posted on YouTube, and I believe I just have 4 left: Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sag, and they'll be posted this afternoon. I just have to edit them. Okay, so here we go. All right, Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Let's see what's going on for my Aries friends. Oops. Ooh. Okay, Aries. This is nice. Aries, my dear Aries, you are experiencing a brand new shift in your life right now. And your mind could be sort of messing with you a bit. You might be you're almost at risk of self-sabotage. Okay, so you need to watch out. You are sort of getting everything you've ever wanted, and you're terrified. Aries, you're getting everything you've ever wanted, and you're so afraid that it's not real, and that you're so worried on a mental level that all of this amazing stuff that's happening is not for you, or it's not real, or it's going to go away, or you're going to screw it up somehow. Very interesting. I see that your intuition is challenged right now. It's like you've been busy tapping into your intuition, but suddenly you've come to a halt because there may be something around you right now that's making you feel like you're not going to be able to hold the same beliefs because of what your intuition is telling you. Okay, so your intuition is trying to talk to you about something, but your mind is crossing it. So whatever your current belief system is, it's challenging your intuition. So it's like there's a battle going on here between your intuition and your rational mind. Okay, and your rational mind definitely wants you to be cautious and be concerned about separation and conflict and to be wary, okay? But deep down, you're like, I think I can do what I need to do to shift mentally and be strategic and intelligent in order to sort of navigate the shifts of energy that I need to do. It's like this is very interesting. You need to tap into your intuition, and you're trying to do all of this with your brain. And you know what? Your intellect is strong, Aries, but you're Aries. You're a fire sign. You need to tap into spirit. You've got an ending here that left you a little jaded in the recent past, and a future that you are sort of you're almost resisting things a little bit by tapping too much into the intellect. You need to surrender that intellect a little bit and sort of go with intuition, go with your feelings, go with a different sense than intellect. You're heavily relying on the idea of mental clarity as opposed to intuition. You're heavily reliant right now on sort of intellectual discernment and problem solving and being judgmental, not in a negative way, but being judgmental in the sense of like, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. Very judgmental, very black and white. Why? Why when the high priestess is here wanting to talk to you about everything? She's in reverse because you're not listening. You're not tapping in. You don't believe her. Why don't you believe her? She's got a lot of stuff to say to you right now, and you just keep throwing logic at her. Well, she does. I mean, it's two different ball games, right? You got to go to the other ball game. Now, what I'm seeing for you in the sense of your inner dialogue seems to be one where, you know, you're sort of like, I want to manifest new ideas. I want to be a leader. I want to use my intuition, but it's like you've got to calm that powerful mental clarity. You gotta, it's a struggle between the ego and the true self. Okay. Now, this is a tricky one because as I keep saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. It's kind of like you can choose what you want to do. And that's the biggest dilemma, right? Like I can give you as much advice as I want based on the cards here. From what I'm seeing, I think you need to turn your big brain off. You need to turn off your brain and sort of just say, I'm going to trust that everything is going to go the way it needs to go. And I'm going to let my true higher self light the way. And I'm going to follow my intuition. And I'm going to be a leader. And, you know, I'm going to develop something. I'm going to develop my own thing here. And it's going to be based on whatever makes me feel creative, inspired, passionate. This is big, but you've got you've got a Knight of Rods and a Page of Swords. So it's like these guys are battling each other, one with the mind, one with spirit. And it's like, who's going to win? Who are you going to let win? That's what I'm saying. It's totally up to you. This is free will. You decide. But this guy, he wants to play because he knows how to manifest things. And guess what? The outer world sees it. You're going through a change. This card is death. Don't be too scared though. This is a great card in the sense that you're entering into the next phase of your life. You're entering into the next phase of your life, and what you want and what you're desperately afraid of is that you're going to get everything you've ever desired. Okay, Aries? You're so afraid that you're going to get everything you want, and it's like, what if it goes away? Like, what if this shift doesn't lead to this, you know, and what if it leads to this and then somehow I screw it up? You're just too in your head. You're overthinking this. You are overthinking this, and you're trying to apply this strategic mind to a situation that's completely intuitive. Okay, very interesting. And for your final outcome, I see here that you're not preparing for this new life cycle. Mentally, you're still worrying about it. This Knight of Swords is here to say, get ready for the biggest shift of your life. Hello? You know, you could be getting everything you've ever wanted. And it's like, you've got the Death card. Everyone can see that you're going through a new phase of your life, and you're just still feeling so worried. You're really worrying that this is all going to you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. Well, be careful, because if you keep thinking about that other shoe dropping, you could manifest that other shoe dropping. And it's like, why not worry? Why not, instead of worrying, why not spend your time thinking about how things could go right and what you can do, instead of thinking about how things could go wrong and all of these statements about I can't. No, flip it over so that you're getting ready for this beautiful shift in your life that I'm sure you can sense based on all of the energy and the cards in your reading. I'm sure you're able to sense that a cycle has closed. But this cycle that closed here left you pretty exhausted. Okay, this cycle that ended in the past left you in a place where, of course, you're really worrying and thinking about conflict and separation again. And you're like, do I really want my heart broken? Look at this. This is a broken heart if I've ever seen one, right? But it's a sword card. So not only did your heart break, but it broke you mentally too, right? Like whatever situation happened in the past here it had a big effect on you, but perhaps it had that effect on you just so that you would never allow yourself to be in a situation like that again. You know, these things happen to us not to break us, but to wake us, right? Okay, what do the oracle cards say to you? Never-ending story. So I feel like you have been there, done that with this sort of thinking before, and it has not yielded anything good for you, Aries. So you need to sort of break this cycle of this never-ending story and sort of be like, I'm going to go a new way mentally. I'm not going to think about how it could go wrong. I'm going to think about all the things that could go right. And I'm going to go forward trusting that whatever experiences I encounter are going to teach me something valuable about myself. And then I can release them, you know? So I feel like this is a week for you to get a hold of your thoughts. Get a hold of your thoughts, Aries, so that you can go forward truly manifesting things you want instead of worrying about things you don't want and accidentally bringing that energy to you. Because whatever we pay attention to, that's where the energy flows, right? So if you're constantly paying attention to all the things that could go wrong, Aries, that is what the universe is going to send you. It's going to send you experiences to prove you right, okay? All right, let's move on to Taurus. Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of July 19th to the 25th. And if you're just joining us, you can always find a more in-depth reading on YouTube. The link is in my bio. And if you missed your sign, then you can always catch the recorded video of this live on YouTube or on Instagram TV. Okay, let's see what's coming up here for Taurus. What's coming up for Taurus this week? Okay. Taurus. Oh, wow. Some of the same cards. Okay, interesting. All right, Taurus, what's going on here? You need a rest. You need a rest. You need to think about some stuff that's, you know, some stuff that you're worrying about. More mental stuff here. Taurus is not able to take the time they need to think and reflect on things because they're in a place right now where they're trying to bring in some faith. And it's almost like you're trying to believe and have a lot of faith that something is going to happen, but you need to heal from whatever this was first. But it's almost like you've got them backwards. You've sort of like, I'm going to ignore this and focus on this, which is, it's nice. It's nice to focus on what we, you know, the being the phoenix from the ashes, but you gotta become the phoenix first. And that takes time to sort of go through this mental healing, and then you can emerge, right? And then you can emerge. And so it's almost like, this is distracting you from this. This needs to happen. This is a time where you could be feeling a little bit of, you could be feeling a little down, you know, mentally down. You could be feeling a little anxious. You could be feeling a little depressed. This card always makes me think of depression, especially when it's in the reverse, because it means that you're sort of resisting new ideas and you're holding on to old concepts. And as a result, you know, this isn't going to happen. You really have to, it's almost like you're putting the cart before the horse. You've got to do the mental work first. Like we were saying when I started this, this series of readings today, saying that it's all about your perception. So if your perception says life is shit, then that's all you're going to manifest is shit. You're not going to be able to see a beautiful world in front of your eyes if your perception of the world is that everything is crap and everything is a struggle and life's not fair and there's nothing good out there, all that kind of complaining energy. That is what is going to come forward. Okay, so it's sort of like you've got to heal before you try to manifest your dreams, because it doesn't work the other way around. Do you know what I mean? So this is really interesting. It's not often that you see the star card as an obstacle, but it's like this is becoming an obstacle for you, because you can see your dreams almost slipping away because of your perception. Now we got to get that perception wrangled here. You are having an issue right now in the sense of you don't quite believe in your mind that there is a new start on the horizon. You're questioning it. You think life is going to stay as it is. And I'm guessing life right now for you is full of sort of some mental anguish, like maybe there's some issues that you're really worrying about quite heavily and fearing the outcomes of. I think fearing outcomes, that's what I'm picking up on here, that, you know, you're worrying about things that haven't even happened yet, Taurus. And as a result, that's holding you back from starting something new. And this new thing is on your mind. It's like you can feel it, but you're preventing yourself from going for it because you really, truly don't believe that it's possible. You're like, not in this world. No way. You know, I feel like you're complaining. I feel like you've got a lot of complaints. Now, at the end of the day here, my dear Taurus friends, you want recognition. You want promotion. You want public acknowledgement. You want the external world to say, hey, look what Taurus is doing. That's awesome. Let's go join Taurus and do like them. Or let's spread the word about what Taurus is doing because it's amazing. And it's like, that's not happening right now. That's not happening. And it's bothering you. So as a result, you're feeling like, well, everything's crap. I'm not going to be able to have this shiny new start that I want. And it's interesting because it's like, you're going to have to face the reality of the situation that you need to heal. Okay, there is some mental healing that has to happen. And in the recent past, it's like you were confronted with too many outcomes and they overwhelmed you. And instead of sort of looking at each of them to sort of think about them, you clump them all together as being all negative. I can almost see someone trying to say, well, what about this? What about this? And you coming up with reasons why that wouldn't work at every suggestion, Taurus. And so when we're like that, when we're that closed off from accepting healing energy, this is never going to happen then. Like it truly won't. You're almost sealing your fate with your thoughts right now, Taurus. It's really interesting reading here. In the future, I see that Spirit's not going to leave you be here. Spirit is really going to try to get you to face a truth. Spirit's really going to try to get you to face a truth, and it's going to challenge you yet again. My Taurus, you are very stubborn mentally, okay? Mentally, you don't want to accept ideas about things unless they immediately resonate for you. But the problem is nothing is going to resonate for you that's positive as long as your perspective is so negative. And I'm not saying this whole, be positive, even if everything is like this whole thing about toxic positivity that you read about. I'm not suggesting that we just pretend everything's fine, but it's your job to see what's going right. And it's your job to control your inner world. Your inner world is not dependent on the external world, and that is something that we have all been taught, and we've all accepted that download, that if my eyes don't see something that's pleasing, that makes me feel whatever. No, it's your perception that controls how you see the world. Trust me, if your perception is one that is more positive, you will start to see the world more positive. Even this world that we're living in, that a lot of people are finding a lot of negatives in, okay? This is all about perception shift for you, Taurus. This is a week of perception shift. Look at this. This is your inner dialogue. This is your inner dialogue right now, Taurus. Your inner dialogue is that everything is conflict, everything is separation, everything is crap, everything sucks, everything hurts, everything's doomed. What? Why? Taurus, you got to start thinking that maybe something good could come along. And you know what? Your outer manifestation is the same. Is the Magician in reverse. A Magician in reverse is quite a cautionary card, because it's saying you're bringing in exactly what you're thinking. And right now, what you're thinking, Taurus, it's not the energy you really want to be bringing in, I don't think. There's so many nice cards here that are in reverse, because they're challenging you. And I think it's the stubborn nature in you that's causing this challenge. And As long as you stay here, you are going to be manifesting what you don't want. I remember hearing someone say that worrying is like praying for everything that you don't want to happen. You know, it's like, just imagine settling down to pray and you're praying for the worst possible outcomes. And that's exactly what you're doing. That's exactly what you're doing. You're doing that right now. Your worrying is bringing you everything that you're worrying about. So you gotta shift this perspective big time. And sorry, I'm giving you too much advice, but I can see that the biggest choice is the problem. Okay, your biggest worry and wish is that everything will be, that you will be able to make the choice that you want to make. But man, it's not harmonious. It's not harmonious. You could be dealing with a Gemini. This could have something to do with your union. The star card is Aquarius energy. So you could be dealing with a Gemini or Aquarius in your life, or maybe there's a partner in your life that's a Gemini or Aquarius, and you're just, I don't know. You know, it's very interesting. This is really, the lovers in reverse suggests that there is a lack of harmony. A lack of harmony is also suggested by the Magician in reverse, but in a little bit more of a sort of, kind of way, because you don't want to be manifesting the opposite of what you want. But that's sort of what you're doing right now, Taurus. So we've got to get you back in alignment. I got to get you here and give you a Reiki treatment or something. We got to get you back in alignment so that you're more harmonious, so that you can make choices that are more harmonious. Okay? Now, at the end of the day, yeah, it's written all over you. You're so bummed out and dissatisfied emotionally, right? The Four of Cups is a time where it's like, even though someone's handing you a cup of some new emotion, you're like, I don't even see it. I just see these 3 cups and I'm not happy with what's in them. And I don't even see this. This doesn't even exist. It does exist. And there's an offer coming right there, but you're so bored emotionally that you don't even see it. This reading is about you shifting your perception, Taurus. That's your homework for the week. You've got to take a really strong look at how you're talking to yourself, how you're talking to others. What are your core beliefs? Your unconscious core beliefs, okay? You need to have a look at those. Do you really think the world is a horrible place? You might. And maybe you've had a lot of experiences to show you that that's the case. But you know what? This idea of your perception, it is within your control. You got to flip this around, Taurus. Regeneration. You got to regenerate here. Something needs to be healed. And it was the first card that came up, which is the Four of Swords. The Four of Swords is a time of necessary healing. And it's in reverse, which means you're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're not taking the time you need to truly regenerate. But you've got to. You could be on the path of this right now. You could be. But I'm just really concerned about how you're viewing this regeneration. You know, are you focusing on the fact that it's painful and it's uncomfortable and unfamiliar, or are you sort of getting excited about what you're going to become at the end of this? Like, what's this going to look like when you're done? And it's almost like you could focus on that, you know, and focus on the things in the day, that the simple things, you know. I mean, really, I was listening to Sadhguru talk about how every night when we go to sleep, the next morning, 1 million people on the earth don't wake up. You know, he was saying that. I don't know if the number is accurate, but that the first thought we should have when we open our eyes in the morning is, thank God I'm still here. And I'm wondering if you are taking that for granted a little bit, Taurus, based on this reading. Perhaps you are, perhaps you're not. But, you know, it's certainly an important thing to remind ourselves that, like, you know, not everyone gets to wake up. Some people go to bed at night and they don't wake up in the morning. So the most important thing to sort of reflect on the second we wake up is just, thank God I'm still here, and sort of give your gratitude to the universe, to source, to God, whatever it is that you know, however you identify with it, to just say thank you for holding me in place. And thank you for holding me in place here, you know, because as long as we're here, we can do different things. But second we're gone, that's it. So my dear Taurus, it's all about perception shift for you this week, okay? All right, let's move on. Gemini, how you doing? Let's see what's going on for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of July 19th to the 25th. Gemini, air sign. Let's see what's going on for the Geminis. Justice, of course. Justice and the Hierophant, of course. We're talking about Geminis, air signs. Man, so philosophical. Always using their big brains to try and figure things out. You gotta love, everyone needs an air sign in their life. My goodness. If you don't have a Gemini or a Libra or an Aquarius in your life, you could be missing a very interesting element of the human personality, you know? It's interesting. I'm an earth sign, and I have a lot of air signs in my life, and I love them. I feel like they balance me out, and they help me become more balanced with their ability to be so intellectual. And that's you right now, Gemini. You are balancing out the scales. You're trying to figure out what's right, what's wrong, who's good, who's bad, who screwed up, who's in the right, who's in the wrong, what's going on. I love it. This is very Libra energy, okay? It is Libra energy. And then you see the Hierophant is the obstacle. So it's like you're in your head trying to figure it out, and the biggest obstacle is the truth. I love it. The universal truth is your biggest obstacle because you can't logic your way into understanding it. It is what it is, you know? When spirit does stuff that you don't understand, oh my goodness, my dear Gemini, it just throws you for a loop. I think this combination of cards is making me giggle because it's sort of like, you know, you being the air sign that this card represents, trying to figure things out rationally and logically, and then boom, universal truth slaps right on top to say, I don't think so. This is beyond your logic. My dear Gemini, whatever's coming up for you is beyond logic. It's fated. It's fated. This is prearranged. This is divine timing. You're not going to logic your way into understanding this. I'm very sorry for that. Hi, Melissa. I'm not, you know, no pulling punches here, but you're not going to be able to logic your way around understanding the way the universe works and the way that divine timing works and the way that prearranged things that have to happen. You're not going to be able to logic your way into understanding that. But I love that you're trying because it's very air sign of you. Now, the King of Swords here is top of mind for you. This is Aquarius energy, okay? So you've got Libra and Aquarius top of mind here. Hierophant is Taurus. We just read it. We just read Taurus, and Taurus needs to shift their perspective a little bit. But anyway, for you, my dear Gemini, it looks like top of mind for you is the idea that you don't know if, this is good news actually, you don't really know if being strategic and clever and sort of having mental shifts is going to serve you. And it's not, okay? It's not. I'm agreeing with you. You're not sure. I'm telling you it's not. It's not because of this. And so it's sort of like you're starting to understand that these truths that you're starting to understand about yourself and the way this universe is structured and works, and maybe the meaning of your life, or the soul path you're meant to be on, you're starting to see that you can't fight it with logic. And I like that for you, Gemini. Good for you. Don't resist what spirit wants from you. You know what I mean? Go with it. And don't try and make it too logical. And at the end of the day here, you've got to take a leap of faith, right? I see the Fool in reverse, which says you don't want to take the leap of faith, but you've got to. Or you don't have to. Again, there's always free will. I'm always so pushy. I'm so sorry. But you've got to sort of decide whether or not you're going to go for it. There's something you want to go for big time here. And it's like, the only thing holding you back is your sense of logic and a little bit of fear. You've got some fear to take that leap of faith, okay? And in the recent past, it became very clear to you that you had to move on. In the recent past, it became very clear to you that these cups no longer served and that you've got to step forward. And if you look carefully, she's got a wand in her hand. So she's left her emotions behind and carried on with spirit. Emotionally, she was very sad to leave these cups behind. It was difficult transition for this lady to walk away from these cups. But she's following in the new moon. So it's very new. It's intuitive. Unfamiliar. She's following the light of the new moon with her wand in hand into an unfamiliar path to understand herself in a new experience. This came up for you recently, Gemini. And as a result, it's turning your sense of identity upside down. It was very secure before. This is the 9. 9 of Pentacles is a very secure sense of the self. Very secure. You know who you are. You know your limits. You know your boundaries. You know what you need. But now it's all upside down. It's all upside down because you've been confronted with a lot of truth and you're starting to step into a path of self-awareness, self-discovery. You're starting a new path, a new chapter. So this perfect vision of you that you have spent, maybe up until now in your life developing, it's all changing. It's all changing. There's a new you coming here, Gemini. And man, you are loop-de-looping around trying to figure out which way to go, right? It's so air sign of you. My goodness, talk about... It's just fascinating, right? It's just fascinating. For an air sign to have to make a choice about which one of these orbs to go for, very difficult, because you talk to an air sign, they're going to be able to tell you the pros and cons of both sides. They're going to be able to tell you the risks and benefits of both sides. They're going to give you an analysis of both of these orbs that make it very hard to choose. And as a result, you're going to keep going like this. Loop, de-loop, de-loop. When really all you have to do is go snip, snip, cut these and just pick one. Just pick one. But it's tricky. You're having a hard time with this. And the people around you can see it. Another 2. Emotionally, it's taxing. And I think it's affecting your relationship. You could have gotten a lot of cards in this position, but you got the 2 of Cups in reverse. So whatever this loop-de-loop land that you're living in right now, trying to decide what direction to go to, or trying to decide how to proceed with this new identity that you feel in your intuition that you're headed towards, it could be affecting your relationship. And it could be affecting like a relationship that's significant, like a partner, or it could be affecting your friendships. You might notice that you lose some friendships. You might have to cut some cords with people. The 2s are always about opposing forces, okay? And this Cups is in reverse. So this isn't about a force that's in union. These are 2 senses of opposing forces, Gemini. Opposing forces in the sense of you, and then opposing sources in the sense of emotional unions. Okay, so lots of opposing dualities here. You are oscillating, constantly oscillating between 2 elements. Do I stay? Do I go? Do I start? Do I finish? Do I stay? Do I abandon? Like you're really oscillating right now. Oscillating, I like that word. And as a result of this oscillation, you're not actually preparing for anything. This is the ultimate distraction, okay? This is such a distraction and creates so much procrastination, because as long as you keep oscillating between these 2 options, you're not actually moving forward like this card wants you to. You're not actually moving forward towards one of those directions because you just keep looping. Loop-de-loop-de-loop. But at the end of the day, I can see the Empress, which is a very beautiful card for you to receive at the end of your reading to suggest that you are going to be a creative force. You are going to figure out how to enrich your life. You are going to figure out how to be self-sufficient. You are going to figure out how to create things with the physical world and your intuition. Notice how she's got the new moon under her foot, which means she's tapped in and can control her intuition. Not control her intuition, but she understands and is connected to her intuition. Okay, there's a connection between her and her intuition. But where is she? She is sitting in the earth. She is sitting by water, which is representative of emotion, and she is also sitting amongst the trees, and she is going to use all of her aspects to go forward in a creative way. So this is good. This is good. This tells me that maybe you are going to get out of this loop-de-loop trap that you've sort of got yourself caught in, Gemini. Okay. Now you just had your birthday, Gemini. not too long ago, Gemini, May 21st to the 20th of June. Happy birthday. Let's see what the oracle cards have to say about this. Exchanging gifts. Yes. Give and take. Give and take. Exchanging gifts to me is a card that suggests once you make a decision, you will be shown the path you need to take. Once you sort of decide the balance between the union, that will create clarity. This is all about balance, which is very interesting because of the Justice card, which is also all about balance. Exchanging gifts is a time where you're looking at being balanced and aligned with give and receive. Okay, so you don't want to be in self-sacrifice. When you see exchanging gifts, it's sort of like you're working with the universe. You're co-creating your path forward, but in a balanced way that doesn't involve you sacrificing yourself. Now, having said that, it doesn't mean that it doesn't suggest that you won't sacrifice. You might have to sacrifice something. In fact, I think you are going to have to walk away from something, or recently did walk away from something. And there is a choice to make. But the idea of exchanging gifts is that you're not going to sacrifice yourself, but things in your life may have to be sacrificed to make room for this to flourish. So, my dear Geminis, it is time to just rip the cord on something and go for it. See what happens. You know, go with what your intuition is suggesting. Try to reflect on what's your gut telling you, right? Try and turn that beautiful intellectual brain of yours off for a little while and go with your heart and go with your gut. Okay? Very interesting, Gemini. I love it. Okay, let's move on to Cancer. Cancer, it's your birthday, Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. So a lot of Cancers having some birthdays right now. That's awesome. Okay, let's see what's going on for Cancer for the week of July 19th to the 25th. And then we're going to head into Leo after that. Let's see what's going on for Cancer for the upcoming week. Thank you. Okay. Oh, sorry. Cancer, what's going on? My goodness. Okay. So Cancer, what I can see for you here is that right now you're exhausted. Okay? You're exhausted. Okay, we're going to start with how you're feeling. You're feeling like you're so overburdened and exhausted that you're just like, I don't even know if I can get these rods home. Can I get these home? Look at how many I'm carrying all by myself. Am I going to be able to even get these home or not? I'm not sure, because you're so tired, okay? Now, because you're so tired and you don't know if you can get these home, you are, whatever the inner dialogue is right now, which isn't great, I can look ahead and see that card. Your inner dialogue right now, Cancer, is bringing in stuff you don't actually want to attract. It's bringing in the opposite stuff. So just like the Taurus reading, you've sort of got to watch your dialogue here. I know that you're tired and that you're overburdened and that you feel so, you almost might feel taken advantage of. You feel so oppressed. Right? You want to let go so bad of holding on to this load. You just want to drop them and walk away from them and be free. And as a result, whatever it is that you're saying to yourself is actually attracting things from the universe that you don't want. So we need to watch how we're talking here, because you actually could be having an impact on, what it is that you're trying to bring in. But because of your level of exhaustion, it's almost better to just have like a calmness and stillness in the mind, get these wands where they need to go, finish out this cycle. This is a 10, so this means you're almost done. You're almost done a chapter, and it's been a hard one. It's been a difficult one, but it's also been very transformative. And that transformation has also sort of been tiring, but You need to rest and stop trying to manifest right now, because you're bringing in the opposite. When you see the Magician in reverse, it's like you're bringing in your worst fears. You're bringing in all the things you're worrying about. You're bringing in all the stuff that you're actually trying to step away from. So just be careful with that, okay? Be careful with what's on your mind, because right now you're like, I'm never going to have this. This is what you're thinking. You're thinking that emotionally, there's nowhere left to go. Okay, 10 of Cups is usually a very happy celebration. Usually means that you've reached a place of emotional content, energy, where you're like really feeling inner peace and inner joy, and you're content. And maybe you started a family with someone, or maybe you've made a connection with someone that really makes you feel at home with yourself. But it's in reverse. So it's like you're saying to yourself, and with the position, it's what's top of mind for you. So what's top of mind for you right now is, I'm never going to have this. This is always going to be a challenge. I'm never going to feel inner peace. I'm never going to feel content. And it's because you're so tired right now, which is why I'm saying just don't talk to yourself at all, because the messages you're saying to yourself could actually be bringing in energy that you don't need. You know, like the universe has no choice but to sort of prove you right. So if you're always thinking and believing down to your core that you're done, you're tired, you're over it, you don't think you can start again, you just want to let go and escape, then that's what you're going to get served, right? So it's like, oh, be careful. But you've got 2 10s here, my dear Cancer. So you're closing out a chapter. You are closing out a chapter and starting a new one. So let's start it with our footing in a place that's healed from whatever this was, in terms of how exhausting it was. It was a good thing. I mean, you did end up putting something creative into the world. You did something great, but it was just a lot, you know. It was tiring. It was a lot. Like, it's like, you know, imagine if you were holding like a fundraiser, or organizing a benefit or a fundraiser. That's a worthwhile cause, and it's something that is really good and all that, but it's probably a lot of work and very exhausting. So, and you probably have to do a lot of it on your own, right? Like, or maybe you're starting your own business, and it's just, you got to the first phase of things, and now you're just so tired that you don't know if you can keep going. So it's interesting. Now, what I'm seeing here is that at the end of all of this, this is all because of a relationship. There may have been a relationship that you were involved in that really overtaxed you and really left you feeling like, I can't be the only one driving the bus. You know, I like to use that analogy that, like, if you're in a relationship and you're the only one driving the bus, then that means that that's it. You're stuck driving the whole time. That means no bathroom breaks. That means no sleeping in the back of the bus. That means no taking pictures of little scenery things that you like. That just means you're driving, you're working, you're driving. And you got passengers that could be driving, but none of them are. And so you're doing all the driving and you're exhausted. And so you could be in a relationship right now that you're like, it's never going to be harmonious. It's never going to be this rainbow, because this person doesn't want to drive the bus with me ever. They just want to ride. They want to go for the ride, but they don't want to do any of the work. Now, in the recent past, I can see that you sort of had a bit of confusion about this whole aspect of what you're going through right now. You sort of were confused about it. You thought, is my intuition right about this relationship? Is this true, what I'm feeling? Is this true or not true? Is this me or them? Queen of Cups in reverse, which really suggests a time of not knowing if you can trust what you're sensing, because it's a little confusing right now. You're confused. You don't know. Is your intuition telling you the truth, or are you just sort of like worst case scenario thinking right now, which you are, but your intuition is talking to you about something that needs to be healed. There is a situation that you need to walk away from. You need to get away from this energy, Cancer. You need to walk away from this and to let go of all of these wands you've been carrying. And I think your intuition has been trying to tell you this for some time, and you just haven't been listening because you don't want to believe that it's true. You wanted this happy outcome with this person. You really did. And it's not happening. It's just not. And it's not working out the way you wanted it to. Now, only take what's resonating. You know, if you're a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, and you're listening to this reading, you need to step away from this situation in order to be able to see it more clearly, because right now you're just so afraid of the consequences of taking action in one way or another that you're at a standstill. You're at a standstill, and that standstill needs to sort of get some movement. You need to get out of this paralysis. You're almost like in an energetic paralysis place right now where you're not doing anything. You're just worrying about all of these outcomes and avoiding them and saying, I'm too afraid of the consequences, so I'll just stay in this relationship even though I'm friggin' exhausted and I'm done driving the bus. And this person's just going for the ride and it's never going to end up like this. And my intuition is telling me I need to move on, and I don't know. I'm too afraid of the consequences. Who am I without this person is what I feel like you keep telling yourself. Well, you know what? Everyone can see who you are without this person. You're the Empress, but you're being held back because this person is not aligned. Because they're not very, they're not aligned with you. This individual is not aligned with you physically or energetically, and so as a result, you're not really able to fully express who you are, which is the Empress. And this is in a placement that suggests that this is how the outside world sees you, okay? So everyone can see that who you are, and that you're not able to express yourself because you're in this union where you're just constantly carrying the whole load. I almost feel like this person could be taking advantage of you, and everyone can see it but you know? And your biggest fear right now is to start over. You just don't want to start from the beginning again. You don't want to start from the beginning again, but you know what? I hate to say it, your final outcome card is the worst case scenario is going to happen, and you're going to struggle to get up from it mentally. So regardless of whether or not you pull the cord on this, Cancer, it looks like the universe is going to just let things happen in the divine timing, and this person it's not gonna last. I'm sorry, Cancer, you could be in between, maybe transitioning into the right relationship. But if this is resonating for you, this seems really specific. Cancer, it's going to get you one way or the other. This situation is going, look at all these 10s. You've got the 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, and where was the other 10? The 10 of Wands. You've got so many cycles closing out. And in the future card is suggesting that you need to heal. So you're closing out so many important lines here, and you know it. You know it because your inner dialogue is like mentally already assessing all of the outcomes that are possible. And no, you're not loving any of these outcomes. But you know what? Regardless, even if you just sit and hide and not choose, it's going to happen anyway. So you may as well be a part of this dynamic and make the choice that your intuition and you feel is the right one. I think your intuition has been trying to guide you on this for quite some time, and it's time to maybe see what the intuitive options are for you right now. Okay? Cancer, sending you a big hug. Oh my goodness, you are going to find your soulmate. Look at what flew on the floor as I was shuffling for you. The Oracle deck is suggesting that, you know, the guidance for you is hold out for this. Soulmate might not just be romantic though. You know, I was doing a reading for someone yesterday, and this card showed up, and we ended up looking through the book of these oracle cards just to see what all the messages the author had, and it really showed us that this card is more than just the idea of like the traditional idea of soulmate, where it's like two people together and they're soulmates and they go off and they're very happy together. It can also just be coming into alignment with people that are more energetically suitable for you, people on the same level, people that aren't going to make you drive the bus the whole time, okay? And then think that's fine. You know, you're going to get your rainbow moment emotionally within union, but it's just not with this person that you're with now. So let them throw 10 swords at you. Look what's coming after. This is going to be for the best because it's going to bring in your true soulmate. Okay? So if this has resonated for you, my goodness, let me know if you would like a personal reading. My email is attached to my Instagram, energybluerose@gmail.com. My goodness, what a fascinating reading here for you, Cancer. And it's your birthday week. So hang in there, Cancer. This person's not for you. There's a better union out there that's more aligned, waiting to find you. You just got to let go of this one that's not aligned first. Whew. Cancer, hang in there. Okay, Leo. What's happening for my Leos, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of July 19th to the July 25th? The Sun goes into Leo July 23rd. So Leos are going to get some birthday action here coming up. Okay, let's see what's going on for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thank you. Okay. Okay, Leos, let's have a look at your cards here. It looks like my Leos are in the process of understanding themselves in a new way. We've been seeing this for the Leo readings that I do on YouTube, that Leos have been trying to formulate a happy outcome for themselves. They just really want to be happy, but they can't help but hang on to this idea that feelings are facts, okay? And that the idea that if I feel sad because of someone's actions, that means that that person deliberately tried to hurt my feelings and they don't love me. And that's not true. We don't know that that's true. Feelings aren't facts. They're usually just a signpost, but they're not, they can't be facts, okay? They can't be the facts of the situation, but it's just an expression of how something made you feel, okay? And it's interesting. It's like the thing holding you back from creating this new you, Leo, this thing holding you back from creating this sense of a new version of yourself that's much more sort of accepting and happy with themselves, is this idea that nothing's ever going to be sustainable. You've got this perception in your mind, Sun in reverse, that things are good, but, you know, they're just not perfect. And, you know, it's funny. You've almost got to throw out that idea of perfection. We see here the Emperor, the Sun blocking the Emperor, which really suggests to me that, you know, your definition of how you are in the world, your independence, your authority over yourself, who you are as a leader, your confidence, all of that is being sort of blocked and muted by this idea that nothing around you is perfect. It's like, why are you looking for perfection? Where did this idea of perfection even come into play? I almost feel, excuse me, I keep hiccuping. I almost feel like you're trying to control the situation too much, because you just, you know, you feel like you need some support on an inner level. There's something that's going on for Leos right now that's like, it almost feels like a brand new sense of themselves. It's like Leos are stepping into a whole new way of understanding themselves. It keeps coming up in all of the readings. Page of Pentacles is a time where it's like the universe is going to grant you this gift of physical energy so that you can start to make some movement on something. And I can see that you want to make movement on something. We see the Three of Pentacles here. It's like you're just about at the initial phase of completion of the shell or the framework. There's something new that you want to do, and you just don't have the confidence, because it's like you feel everything has to be perfect before you reveal it. And I was reading something the other day that said perfection is the best excuse to create procrastination. It's an excuse for procrastination. That's how it went. That perfection is an excuse to procrastinate. And it made me think, I think so, you know, like I think so. I think the longer we sort of revise and edit and perfect things. It's just a way to delay exposure because we're afraid of what others will think. We're afraid how it will be received. It's fear. It's all about sort of fearing the outcome of what it will be like to be vulnerable with something we've created, right? And for any artist out there, for any creative person who's, sort of taken a chance to expose their vulnerable side by being creative publicly, they know there's this desire to be perfect first so that no one can say anything bad about you. And certainly the world we live in right now with social media and the way people comment on each other's stuff, like some people are, they're not very nice with their comments, and it's sort of like, if you don't have anything nice to say, then just move on, scroll on, you know what I mean? And you're really worried about this idea of perfection. I can see in the recent past that you went through something that was like a turn of fortune. So it was like something shifted in your life and reversed the prosperity. So I think in the past you came into some prosperous situation that maybe that situation in and of itself is the one that sort of is pushing you to make sure things are perfect because you don't want to have losses. You don't want to go back to a feeling where you feel insecure or you feel like you could be made a victim of something because maybe it happened in the past. And it looks like it turned out okay afterwards because this is in reverse. But you know what? Maybe initially it wasn't okay. Maybe initially you really felt like, oh, I can't take a risk again because what if I'm left vulnerable? It's vulnerable. You're worried about vulnerability here. And in the future, it's like that idea of being scared of to be too vulnerable is going to hold back the evolution that you're in here. You've completed a cycle. Like I said, you're stepping into a new phase of yourself, Leo. And it's like by holding on to this idea of perfection and that you can't be vulnerable until things are perfect, you're going to end up slowing this process down, or maybe sort of resisting it to the point where you end up being redirected for a little bit until you can come back. So like seeing the world in reverse, it's like you don't see what's coming next. You don't see something as coming next. Maybe you feel stuck because you feel like you can't move forward if you feel vulnerable. And so maybe you feel like, well, then that's that. Then I guess I'm not moving forward because I'm always going to feel vulnerable. This inner dialogue you have in your mind is really playing with you a little bit here, Leo. It's like really, really having an effect on things. Other people see this in you. They see this is the star in reverse. So other people really, in the manifested version of you in the outside world really looks like you're just too afraid to have faith in yourself. You're too afraid to have faith in yourself. You're too afraid to take a chance on this happening. But it could happen, right? Like, just as easily as it might not happen, it could. It's like you've decided in your mind that you don't deserve this, or that somehow you're not worthy of this, Leo. Why not? We're all worthy all the time. You're worthy just by being here, okay? And you're deserving just by being here. You're enough. You don't think you're enough, and you're so afraid to be vulnerable about that. And as a result, you're not expressing something that you really want to express, and you're holding back a transformation. Okay, death in reverse. So for your final outcome, that really suggests that you are holding back your own evolution with these ideas in your mind that you're not enough, and that you have to be perfect to receive love, and that you have to be perfect or else the external world is gonna just tear you apart. You've got these ideas in your mind about yourself being unable to be a leader, and it's because you just don't think you can do it. As is, you feel like it's very interesting. And at the end of the day here, when we look at the Knight of Rods that's sort of pushing all of this, there is something making you feel restless, like you do want to get something off the ground, but it's your self-limiting beliefs that are holding you back. It's your self-limiting beliefs, Leo, That's what's holding you back. Self-limiting beliefs. Yeah, because this is something that you could co-create with the universe. You could be co-creating this. You are co-creating this, but you don't. It's like you just don't believe it yet. You just don't believe it yet. One of the last readings I did for Leo, I remember the message was, I almost started crying during the reading because it was like Leo just wants to feel good. They just want to feel like they're whole and that they're enough and that they're good. You know, like Leos are really struggling with this, and they're just, it's really hard sometimes reading for Leo lately because they just feel so, they feel like they're not enough, and you can really feel it when you read the cards. But you are co-creating something, Leo. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. You can have this 10 of Cups outcome. You can have this Star outcome. These are beautiful cards to appear in your reading, albeit in reverse currently. When they're not in reverse, very, very powerful omens of getting what you want. Phoenix from the ashes and ultimate emotional contentment. I mean, very, very beautiful messages for you, Leo. And I mean, the Death card is one of my favorites, actually, because it really means that life is coming to a new chapter. But yours is in reverse because you're resisting the new. It doesn't look like the old was serving you, though, Leo. So why not try something new? It doesn't look like the old was making you feel very good. So maybe stepping into something new, maybe it'll make you feel better. Maybe you'll start to feel that being vulnerable is actually a strength and not a weakness. And that, you know, expressing yourself is a positive thing, and that perfection is an illusion that just keeps us in fear, right? It's not real. There is no such thing as perfection. Yeah. Hang in there, Leo. It's your birthday. Happy birthday, Leo, coming up. So maybe make a birthday wish that you just see vulnerability as a strength and that you are enough. You are enough, Leo. We all are, really. It's all just in our heads that we think we're not. Okay, let's move on. Last four. We got Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, and Sag. I'm always amazed at how fast this goes. I can't believe we're at the last four. Okay, Virgo, my last earth sign for today's messages of the week. Let's see what's coming up for Virgo. Hang on, let's light another incense. I wanted to see how many incenses I go through on a Sunday. This is number 3. Let's see how many I go through to get to the end. I bet you it will be all of them. Is this number 3? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, sorry. Let's see what's going on here for Virgo. Sun, Moon, and Rising for Virgo for the week of July 19th to the 25th. Virgo, last earth sign for the day. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, Virgo. Okay, Virgo, slow down. What's going on here, Virgo? Oh, Virgo. So many big cards. My goodness. Wow. Okay, let's get started. Okay, Virgo. Something has ended for you as well. And it's time to reflect on it. But man, are you resisting the reflection. You don't want to reflect on it. You would rather just sort of move forward and sort of forget about this. But look at this. Okay. Something got you. There's the 10 of Swords. So an experience that you sort of thought was the worst case scenario mentally, it happened. Okay. Something that would have been worst case scenario showed up and it happened, and you feel so tired as a result. Okay. We just saw both of these cards in a reading that passed. So the thing that's preventing you from getting up from this is the fact that you're just exhausted. You feel so overburdened by whatever this was that you're having a really hard time believing that you can start a new cycle. These are both 10s, 10 of Swords, 10 of Wands. So you're at a place right now, Virgo, where you're like, I can't get up just yet. I can't go through anything right now because I'm so, I feel almost defeated and oppressed, and I need to release this first. And the Hermit is Virgo or sorry, the Hermit is Sagittarius energy. No, sorry, it is Virgo. I always think Sagittarius. It's not Sagittarius. Sagittarius Temperance. This is Virgo energy. So it's you. This is you refusing to do the healing that you need to do. When you see the Hermit in reverse, it suggests that you're hiding. You're not in solitude to understand the wisdom behind what you just experienced. You're just hiding. You're hiding in the nest so that you can avoid the external world because of what you just went through, albeit like this doesn't look like it was a lot of fun. Okay, I get it. But we need to flip this guy upside down so that you're actually in the nest doing the mental work that you need to be doing to figure out. It's not just mental work. It's mental, it's emotional, sometimes it's physical, spiritual for sure. It's reviewing what you've gone through so that you can pull out the lessons and then heal and let it go. So, you know, on my channel, I often say, feel it, heal it, and let it go. You know, you gotta feel it, you gotta heal it, and then you release it, right? I always sort of say that. And that's what the Hermit energy comes for you for. It's a 9. So it's like at the end of a cycle, you have to sort of go into that. I sometimes call it like reviewing the data. You've got to review the data. You can't just be out there collecting data the whole time. You eventually have to have a day in the lab where you sit down and you crunch the numbers and you try and figure out what you found out. What did you learn by going through all those experiments? Which is essentially what we're doing, right? So what did all of those experiences teach you about yourself so that you can sort of move on, right? You gotta feel it, heal it, and let it go, because that was just you in that experience. That's not you moving forward. When we let it go, we want to move forward with a blank slate. Tabla rasa, nice, clear, clean slate that is blank without any self-limiting beliefs at all. Any beliefs. Just move forward going, I wonder what this experience is going to teach me, with the mindset of curiosity. You know, if you overly define yourself, then that's it. You're stuck. You just created yourself a prison. Okay? So we don't want to create prisons for ourselves. We want to be free to experience and be whoever we are. Okay? But in order to do that, you still have to do the data. You still have to look at the data, write the paper, and try and get it published. Sorry, I used to be a researcher. But you know, you've got it. You got to have that day in the lab. You can't just be going, well, I have another hypothesis. I have so many hypotheses. Okay, good for you. But we've got to finish this one first. You can't just accumulate all this data without looking at it. Otherwise, you haven't learned anything then. You're just having all these experiences and not processing any of the information. So I can see that in the recent past, you did have an inner celebration, but it may have turned on you because of this 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands. So it looks like this sort of situation that overwhelmed you and overburdened you may have been a marriage, may have been your partner. It may have had to do with something that was initially a celebration or initially something that was seen as being very positive, and then it sort of turned into something else. And in the future, it looks like you're going to have to understand that public recognition is not where the truth is. That you know, the way that the outside world sees you is the way the outside world sees you. That's the mask you wear, and they see the mask. We all wear masks, right? Unless you're 100% authentic, everyone's wearing a mask when they interact with people. You know, I think we have people in our lives we can be 100% authentic with, but good for you. If you're walking around being you all the time, regardless of anything, then you're good. You've learned a lot and you're doing it. But for a lot of us, that's really tricky. So right now, in the upcoming future, it looks like it's going to be a challenge for you to accept that whatever the outside world thinks of you it's actually none of your business. And you don't need external validation. You don't need public recognition. You just need your own sense of recognition and your own sense of acknowledgement and your own sense of like providing yourself with that acclaim. Like you can sort of pat yourself on the back and say, right on. You don't need the rest of the world to do that. Sort of like what we were talking about, Leo. You don't need people to to validate this for you. You are enough, and you don't have to be perfect. Nobody is. Nothing is perfect. Everything is what it is. And you don't need to rely on the outer world to tell you that you're doing things in a way that's aligned with who you are. Okay. Now, I can see that in your mind, though, you're like, yes, I do. How am I supposed to get these horses to run in the same direction without the external world? Well, you use your intuition. You use your intuition and your internal guidance, that inner guidance, that intuition, that intuitive inner guidance that speaks to us all the time about choices. The Chariot is a card of choice, my friends. It's Cancer energy, and it's a card that really talks about making choices in order to get those horses to run side by side. The horses represent masculine and feminine energy, and it's really about balancing creation versus destruction, water and geometry. So you've got, like, you know, the I always think of the feminine energy as, you know, the excited gardener running through, just sprinkling seeds everywhere. And then the masculine energy comes in behind her to sort of make rows and put in signs and make the potatoes in one spot and the carrots in another spot, instead of her just running around just sprinkling seeds wherever she wants. And so you've got to balance those two horses so that they run side by side, because if they start running in opposition, that's it. And this is what's top of mind for you, is how am I going to balance things? Well, you got to spend a day first looking at the data. You got to. That's going to help inform this. So that's one thing. That's like a very solid piece of concrete guidance, is that take some time with yourself to go through the experience before you start making choices. Now, the outer world sees you as constantly fighting to be authentic. The outer world sees you as sort of being in conflict with others in order to understand your own authenticity and to defend yourself. Others see you as sort of defensive. Others see you as being sort of difficult to approach because you're constantly in a defense mode. You're always defending yourself. And it's almost like you've lost track of who you're fighting against, okay? A part of you wonders if the people closest to you can be trusted, and a part of you is hoping desperately that yes, they can be trusted, because you have people around you all the time. It looks like, if this is resonating for you, Virgo, you might be in the public spotlight. You might have, if you know, it's very specific, but you might be doing something or have a presence that's very public. And so there's a part of you that people might think you're a bit paranoid. People might think you're really defensive, but ultimately you're just like, I just want to have people around me that I can trust. I want to be able to trust the people around me, and I want to be able to celebrate. Like, you know, when you see that you did have a celebration in the past, it's like you just want that celebration to come back. And instead you find yourself being sort of like not sure about the people around you. And it looks like, I'm sorry, I think someone hurt you. I think you got hurt by someone you trusted, and you didn't necessarily see it coming. You sort of thought that is just like the worst case scenario, but there's no way it would ever happen. And then boom, it happens. It gets you, it lays you out on the ground with the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Wands is keeping you down because you're so tired and overburdened and oppressed, and you don't think you can do it again. And you're just starting to question all of the people around you. And the people around you are starting to see you as paranoid and maybe sort of defensive. So this is very interesting. Something has happened to make our Virgos really feel like they have to look over their shoulder. Okay. Now, the final outcome for you here is lovely. It's the 9 of Wands, which is a time where you're almost at the end of getting something amazing finished. You're almost at the end of a cycle where you used your inspiration, your creativity, your passion, and your intuition to sort of guide you to do something. But like, you know, when you get to the, like if you were hosting an event or a gala or fundraiser or something, it's all very well and good, but the night of the gala, that night that you're like gonna put on your tuxedo or your fancy gown and go do and be at the gala, and then you're just so tired, you know, by the end of that gala. Aren't you just exhausted? You're almost exhausted at the beginning of that day starting. You wake up and you're like, oh, today's going to be a long day. But you're almost there, okay? You're about to shut down this cycle here, but you really need a day to reflect on it. You do. Don't miss this step. Don't skip it. Because at the end of the day, once you have done all of this, look at this beautiful Knight of Cups that's going to come in to transform you. I really think that there is something shifting in the realm of your partner. I think that there was a relationship here, close friendship or partner, someone significant that you called very dear to you, that you initially had a celebration with, and then things shifted into a place where they hurt you. They hurt you mentally and they exhausted you spiritually, which says like they sort of like sucked your energy out of you, right? And it took you down to a place where now you're questioning all the people around you, and you're about to finish a chapter with this situation. And I think something beautiful is pushing on you to do this. There is some new dimension of emotion that is trying to push its way in, and as a result it's pushing all of this out. It's sort of, this night is creating the emerging energy that's going to transform this whole dynamic, and it's going to end this cycle for you. You can see them looking at each other here. This night is going to end this cycle that this night is in now. And this poor knight is exhausted. So it's ready. He's ready to finish his cycle, and this one's coming in to help. So that's really interesting. Let's see what the oracle cards say here for Virgo with respect to this. 2 cards here. Let's see. Stay in the here and now. Yep, that's Hermit, man. Get in the here and now and understand what's going on, and mending. It's time to heal. You've got it. You can't miss this step. You can't miss this step. This step is you. Okay, Virgo? This is you. This card represents you. So it's time to tap into yourself, stay in the here and now, and be mindful of what's going on now, and heal, right? And you know, release some of this stuff. You got to feel it, heal it, and let it go. Okay, Virgo, we're going to leave it at that for you. Wow. The Virgo reading is going to get uploaded onto YouTube this afternoon. So if you want a little bit more in-depth reading, you can check that out this afternoon. Or you can always get a personal reading, and then we can really get into it. Okay, let's see what's going on for Libra, my final air sign of the day, my Libras. Let's see what's going on for Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of July 19th to the 25th. Libra, Sun, Moon, and Rising. What is going on for the Libras out there? Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness, that Ten of Swords just wants to show up for everyone. Okay, so let's see what's going on for my Libras. Okay, Libra, you're not going to want to hear this. Okay, Libra, listen. Right now, what's blocking your ultimate contentment, what's challenging you to be emotionally content, is this idea of, do I stay or do I go? This has been coming up a lot for Libras. Do I stay or do I go? Do I run off with the information or secrets or sort of discoveries that I've made and just run off in the middle of the night and not really have to defend myself or be like, explain myself to anyone that's going to wake up and say, hey, where did they go? That energy is really like, it's preventing you from achieving something. So it's almost like if you decide to be authentic about who you are, that might free this situation up a bit. Okay? But right now, you're stuck. It's making an obstacle here. You don't feel confident in order to just flee. You don't feel confident enough to sort of say, I'm just going to take 5 out of these 7 swords and get the hell out of here. You know, how do I get out of here? Let's get out of here right now. I got my 5 that I can carry. I don't care that I'm leaving these 2 swords behind. Who cares? I just want to get the hell out of here. This is really a desire to flee. Okay. And it's really a question of, should I be cautious and diplomatic, or should I just be authentic and throw caution to the wind and who cares what people think? It's almost like that debate is the thing challenging you the most to feel that inner joy. And you just don't feel confident in which way to go. Your confidence is low, but it needs to you need to sort of understand that you won't be able to battle this lion without that confidence. But you already understand that because you're in the throes of this right now. Top of mind for you is loopy. You know, you're very loopy. You keep looping between, do I stay or do I go? Should I be my authentic self, or should I just be diplomatic and do what everyone else expects me to do? Should I do status quo, or should I shake the status quo up so much that I'm just living my authentic life and it doesn't matter if I left 2 swords behind? It just doesn't, because I'm being authentic, and that's all that really matters. It's up to you. It's totally up to you. You can decide. But in order to decide, you need to sort of regain that sense of inner confidence that you can be as authentic as you want, and the rest of the world doesn't necessarily have to understand what's going on. Now, in the recent past, I can see that there was a lot of energy that came your way that sort of felt like it was not helpful. Okay, you were almost at a place where you were worrying so much, you started to attract things that you didn't want. You started to attract things that you did not want, my dear Libra. And it's sort of like now, as a result, you're sitting in a place where there's a lot of like unfamiliar, hidden, unknown energies all around you that are highly transformative, but you don't know something. There's something you don't know, and you want to know what it is. And I think you're looking for it in the external world. But whenever I see the moon card, I think the answer's not in the external world. The thing that is going to be revealed to you is already known by your intuition. So you need to tap into your intuition to help you make this decision, my dear Libra. Your big, beautiful air sign brain is not going to be able to pick a side easily because you're a Libra. And you're always looking at things as right and wrong, black and white, joyful, miserable, good, bad. You know, sometimes it's gray. It just is. You know, sometimes it's in the middle, and that's fine. As long as you're okay with it, that's all that matters. Now, I can see that you're being sort of nostalgic, but in a way that it's like you're looking at the past with resentment. Okay, so you're looking back at the past, but not with rose-colored glasses, and not to reminisce, and not to say, oh, remember when this? No, you're looking at the past and going, you did this, you did that. You're keeping a log of things that have happened that were negative. It's like a grudge. Whenever I see the 6 of Cups in reverse, I think of emotional grudges, where you've got a grudge. You've got a grudge against whoever is involved in this, or you've got a grudge against life. You've got a grudge against an experience or a situation or a person or a place or a thing. You're holding on to a grudge from the past, and it's not really serving you, because as long as you're holding on to this, you're keeping this alive. You have to let it go. You got to let go of all of that stuff. And then maybe that's why it's so hard to make a decision, because you're looking at the past and expecting something to change. Nothing's going to change. The past happened the way it happened. You might just need to forgive yourself for being involved in something that when you look back on, you're like, oh, that was no good, or whatever you're saying to yourself about this. You might just need to forgive yourself. Okay, because the outside world does not see you as being open to emotional closeness. Right now, your cup is closed. You are not open. Okay, when I see the Ace of Cups in reverse, I always think that you are saying, I will not give birth to anything new emotionally right now. No, I will not give any of my cup away. You know, you might feel like you've been taken advantage of. Like maybe that's one of the grudges you're holding, is that someone took advantage of you, or that you sacrificed a lot of things in the past and now you're not willing to. You know, you sacrificed a lot in the past and now you're like, no, my cup is now just for me. Thank you very much. I'm not giving anyone a drop. And other people can certainly see that. Now, the thing that you want and worry about all at the same time is starting this new life, this new identity. You are terrified of starting this path. You don't have the confidence right now. You don't believe in yourself. You're not certain which choices to make. You just feel like everything is unknown and you don't know which way to go. So Libra, you need some time to just be with yourself and sort of not use the same skills to make this decision. I think you're used to using logic, and you're used to using your judgment and mental clarity, and you're used to reasoning and understanding things using discernment and problem solving, and sort of looking at patterns and saying, well, you know, if you walk down this path, that's what the outcome will be. And you're good at that, but that's not going to serve you here. Okay, that'll serve you in life, but it's not going to serve you in this moment right now. Especially as you're starting a new path, you almost need to just surrender all of that and go forth and just see what happens and be curious about who you are becoming instead of worrying about it, where you're worrying really brings us to things that bring us to our knees, which is your final outcome here. So mentally, this situation is going to bring you to your knees a little bit here, and you're going to have to get up in order to start this new path. And that's going to be a challenge. I think once you finally make the choice, you're going to have consequences to deal with. Okay. Now, consequences don't mean that you made the wrong choice. Every choice has consequences. We live in a universe that is built on the premise of cause and effect. Okay. So that you can't get around cause and effect. It's the rule that controls everything that goes around. There's divine timing, cause and effect, free will. Sometimes I struggle to understand how the three of those interact with each other, but I'm getting there, if we can ever get there. But cause and effect, you have to get up from this. If you stay down, so just get up. You got to get up and start this new Ace of Pentacles identity. You can't stay down forever. I know this is going to be trying for you, Libra, but you got to get up. You know what? Get up and call someone. Call someone and just say, I need some support. That seems to be a difficult thing for Libras to do. Just do it. Call your friends. Call on family. Call on a professional if you don't feel like you want to talk to family or friends about this. Call on a life coach. Call on a counselor or guidance. You know, maybe a spiritual teacher. Maybe I like the idea of these spiritual life coaches because they're practical and spiritual all at the same time. Maybe you need someone to help you formulate a plan that's not so based on judgment and reason and discernment, you know, like maybe you need someone to help you formulate a new vision going forward after this, right? Oh, okay. Let's see what the Oracle cards have to say for you here, my Libra friends. Let's see. What words of encouragement do we have for Libra here? Truth be told and chop wood. So truth be told and chop wood came out. So what that says to me is, you know, there is a truth here that you can't keep denying. This thing that you just want to run off in the middle of the night with. It needs to be expressed, and you know that. It's just you just don't know what's going to happen, and you don't feel terribly confident to jump off on your own yet. But chop wood is a time, I always think of chop wood as being like, you know, get ready, because you got to get the wood chopped, you got to sweep the floor, you got to make sure there's water, you got to get ready. Start taking one step every day towards whatever it is that you want to get to. Just one step, Libra. You don't have to overwhelm yourself. That will help the confidence grow, right? Like if you have a vision or a direction of where you want to go, which is, I think you do, just take one little step every day and don't let this overthinking feel like it's going to destroy you. Sometimes endings, you know what? Let me scratch that. It's not sometimes. Every ending is a new beginning, okay? Every ending is a new beginning. And so we need to start thinking about that. And truth be told, you're over this. You are over this dynamic anyway, Libra, aren't you? You want to sneak off. I know you do. You just want to sneak off away from this and not confront it. You might have to confront it. Maybe you don't. It depends. But truth be told, tell yourself the truth. Be honest with yourself about how you want to proceed. I think that is going to help a lot. Okay, Libra? All right. Let's move on to our last water sign of the day, Scorpio. How are the Scorpios doing? Last water sign for the messages for the week. I do these every Sunday, noon Mountain Standard Time here in Alberta, Canada, and I will post the recording on YouTube and Instagram when I'm done. And then you can also find longer, more in-depth readings for the week of July 19th to the 25th on my YouTube channel, which you're welcome to check out. The link is in my bio. And, you know, if you're happy with the content, I'd love to see you subscribe and like and watch my videos so that I can keep providing free content to my viewers. Oh, I can't seem to talk and shuffle here. Let me focus. Okay, Scorpio. What's going on for Scorpio for the week of July 19th to the 25th? I feel like there's some Scorpios out there that are dealing with some opposing stuff coming at them out of nowhere. Let's see what's going on for Scorpios here. Yeah. A lot of do I stay or do I go stuff for Scorpio. A lot of choices. Lots of truth coming at them that they have to deal with. Yeah, it's been an interesting ride for Scorpio as well. Everyone's really going through it right now. Okay, so let's begin. For Scorpio, what's going on here is that there is this do I stay or do I go vibe. You've got a very strong do I stay or do I go vibe, and it's challenging you. You got a tough choice to make and you don't know what to do. And that's double echoed with the Lovers, which is also a choice card. You've got a big choice to make about, is something harmonious or not? Is it? Is this still speak to you or not? Is this bushel that you've been cultivating for a long time, this is a 7, is this still speaking to you? Are you going to stay with this bush or are you going to go start a new bush? You don't know. But man, you know you need to make the choice, but you just don't know which way to go. You don't know. The Lovers is a Gemini energy, so you could be dealing with a Gemini. 7 of Pentacles is a Taurus. So you could be dealing with a Gemini or a Taurus, potentially. Maybe not. Maybe you just have placements in those signs, or maybe not at all. But basically, you've got a big choice to make, okay? Both of these cards really are about a big choice about, do I stay, do I go, are things in harmony, or are they not in harmony? Are they unbalanced, okay? Now, top of mind for you right now, Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles comes along to say, hey, start being mindful of your day-to-day, because that's what's going to help you make this decision. You need to start being more mindful about what's going on in your day-to-day. Right now, all you keep thinking about is, am I being authentic? Am I being authentic? And you're wondering if you should, again, this is a 7, you're wondering if you should just take off. Should I stay or should I go? Am I being authentic or am I being diplomatic? Am I being authentic? Am I being really me and not caring about what the outside world thinks and like I'm just doing my thing and expressing myself? Or am I being really cautious and sort of diplomatic? This is a very interesting combination because this Knight really wants you to get ready for a new change. And this 7 of Swords is really a time of like, very similar to the 7 of Pentacles in the sense of like, do I stay or do I go? And this is, do I be authentic or do I be fake? So it's like the big thing on your mind is, am I being authentically me, or am I being kind of a fakey fakerson, you know? And I say that because this is in reverse. So you're really wondering this about yourself, not so much about the people around you. Like when this card is upright, you're really wondering about what what people around you are going to think about you being yourself. Here, it's almost like you're asking yourself the question of like, am I being fake? Or am I being authentic? Am I afraid to be authentic? Is it too vulnerable to be authentic? There's a choice that needs to be made here. In the past, you may have been accused of being kind of aloof. Okay, Scorpio? In the past, you may have been the kind of person that could witness a lot of stuff and be the observer and the judge. The observer who is ambivalent, the observer who can ride all the emotional waves and be the counselor or the spiritual guider or the healer, the person who mends the situation without getting involved. You know, the King of Cups is the ultimate observer. He is able to have an open cup, ride the emotional waves, and still be completely cool as a cucumber, okay? The King of Cups is Scorpio energy. This is you. You're able to do this. We've got 2 Scorpio cards on the table right now. We'll get to the last one in a second. But the King of Cups is you. So in the past, you were able to sort of be detached and be the observer. But now you're sort of wondering, was that more me than I am now? Or am I more me now than I was then? A lot of sort of oscillating between 2 dualities here, 2 polarities. Now, in the upcoming future, I see you taking a big leap of faith. I see you taking a leap of faith. Maybe you're taking a chance on yourself. Maybe you're going to step out onto a path that is not one that is familiar or known to you, but it will, and you know it will teach you something about yourself. So you're going to go for it. You're going to go for this path. Even though you have no idea what lies ahead, you have a lot of trust in the future about going for it. Okay, this is lovely. You're going to take a leap of faith. I think that to me signals that you're going to make a choice about this. Now, I see that we've got the Magician in reverse as what's going on sort of on the inner dialogue for you. So your self-talk needs a look here, Scorpio. The way you're talking to yourself is not serving this situation. It's not serving you. It's not helping bring in the experiences that you want. You know, when you say out loud or to yourself, I'm not enough, all the universe hears is that you're not enough. So it'll keep sending you experiences to validate that feeling. Okay, you don't feel like you're enough? Well, here you go. Here's some more experiences to prove you right. You know, sometimes people think that the universe acts against them. Well, and it's really like, it's always conspiring to prove you right. So if you're walking around believing that you know, everything is going to be crappy for you because you're not enough and you don't deserve and you're not worthy and you're a bad person, well, the universe is going to have to support that belief system and send you stuff, even though it's like, oh boy, sorry, I don't know why I'm playing with my crystals all of a sudden. I just noticed one of them was out of place. You know, it has to prove you right. So that's sort of something that I wish they would teach us when we're little, that the inner dialogue is very important. The inner dialogue is very important. And right now your inner dialogue, Scorpio, it's not serving you. It's not serving you. And the outside world sees you as resisting change. The outside world sees you as not accepting that the reality has shifted. The outside world sees you as trying to hang on to the past too much. The outside world sees you as not wanting to let go of something that no longer serves you. Something happened here, Scorpio, that I think it really shook you up with respect to the line between authenticity and being fake, or not, like being too reliant on what the outside world thinks versus what does my inner world need, right? These two things were in opposition. And it's like maybe in the past you were able to sort of be in the middle and just be the observer, but for some reason now you're questioning that. You're questioning whether or not things were harmonious or are harmonious as far as you are on this path of the Seven of Pentacles. Like, you're really wondering if you should jump ship on something and pursue something else entirely, right? Something that feels more like you. So what I see here in terms of your final outcome, or not your final outcome, but like what you're hoping for and what you're sort of fearing, is the idea of initiating something that could be spiritual. I think, seeing the Fool in the future and seeing this Two of Pentacles or Two of Wands as your hopes and fears really says to me that you are starting a spiritual understanding of yourself, a new path of self-discovery, and you're just a little, like, you're excited, but you're also a little bit worried about what you're going to find when you go down that path. And my dear friend, what you're going to find when you go down that path is transformation. This is the other Scorpio energy card, the Death card, which is, again, like I've said lots of times, I love seeing this card because it really says that your life is changing. And, when if I were to ask you, where do you want to be in 5 years? Are you going to say exactly right where I am right now? No changes. I don't want anything to change. I just want to stay exactly right here, right now. Maybe not. Maybe for some people, yes, they're going to say, yeah, I don't want anything to change because I'm terrified, which is what the reversal of this card means. So there's a part of you that is like, you've got the Tower in reverse and the Death card in reverse. So that really says that, this is coming to you on an intuitive level, but you're not feeling ready to make a change. You're not feeling ready to accept change. You're not feeling ready to allow new path to come in. You're clinging to the tower that's crumbling, and you're resisting this Death card. You're running away. You're running in the opposite direction of change. The Death card is really about rebirth. Every ending is a new beginning. So by running away from the ending, you're running away from a new beginning, Scorpio. And this new beginning is happening no matter what. So you can stand in the middle of your tower trying to piece it together as it falls apart, but it's going in the sea. It's going in. There's nothing you can do about it. It's going in the sea, and you're going to watch it wash away. Bye. And then you're going to have to move on and do this new thing, this thing that you're a little scared to do, this new initiation that is more based with your intuition and your spirit. And again, it's going to be more authentic than what you're sitting in now, and more harmonious, because there's an element of the harmony is not present. There's an imbalance in the harmony here for you. Interesting. Okay, let's see, what do the oracle cards have to say for Scorpio as they go through this big shift, and one that they have to choose. It's not going to shift on its own. That tower's going in the ocean, but this shift, you're going to have to make a choice. Treasure Island. Oh, and there was another card. Sorry, I just plopped it back in. There it is. And Between Two Worlds. So you really are between two worlds. But look at how nice this new world that you're heading into. It's all colorful. It's blue. It's not black and white. There's a lot of water, treasure, and, it's a new start. So think about this when you start running from the ending of whatever is going to end. Think about what's on the other end of that ending, right? Like, okay, right here, there's the gray sky, and this is, an ending. But look, it's bringing in this beautiful color beginning, this colorful beginning, and it's treasure. It's full of your ultimate prosperity, and your authenticity is here. Your alignment is here. You will be harmonious here. So, just keep reminding yourself that every ending is a new beginning. And you certainly are taking that leap of faith, my dear Scorpio. Very nice. Your more in-depth reading will be up on YouTube this afternoon. I'm just going to edit them when I'm done this live and then post them. So if you're looking for more detail, you can check that out later today. The link is in my bio, or you can message me for a personal reading. Okay, we're going to start the last reading of our day here together. Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And thank you for those who have joined me today. I hope that you got to see your placement. If not, the recording will be on Instagram and YouTube shortly. Okay, let's see. What are the messages for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the period of July 19th to the 25th? Okay, let's see what's going on for the Saggies. Okay, Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, what's going on for you? Well, you are getting ready to change things up, Sagittarius. You are changing things and you're preparing for that change. The only thing that's creating an obstacle for you is you prepare for this life cycle change, life pattern change. Life pattern changes can mean things like you might change your perspective about something that you have long regarded as like a truth. You might see it as different. You might be changing your perceptions about yourself. You might be changing the pattern of your life. You might be like choosing to do things in a completely different way. But the thing that's holding you back right now is this foreboding sense of what the future could bring if you go ahead with this change. Okay, you're worried. This is the ultimate card of a worrier. Sitting, the traditional tarot deck shows this card as someone sitting up in bed with holding their hands on their face, and they're worried. They're sitting up at night worrying, okay? And bound up. They're bound up with all that stress and worry. So that is really blocking your ability to go ahead and prepare for this big shift coming into your life. Now, I see that the tower is top of mind. So that really suggests that the shift has sort of already started to happen. Like the tower is already starting to shake and crumble under the strike of those lightning truth bombs. And you're starting to really get a little bit worried. You're like, oh my God, this tower that I've just built over how long of a period is starting to come down. And it's washing away into the ocean. And I mean, bear in mind the Nine of Swords suggests the end of something. Like a 9 is always you're closing something out and about to start something new. So in order to make room for that new start, this tower gots to go in the ocean. And you know what? You can stand there and try and rebuild it as much as you want and hang on to it and not let go, but it's going. It's time. Every ending is a new beginning, my dear Sagittarius. At the bottom of all of this is this idea that this is very similar to the last reading, and you saw me shuffle, but this is very interesting. At the end of the day, your challenge is coming from the idea that you don't know how to balance out this formulation of this new thing that you're really inspired to do on a spiritual, creative, and passion level. Something really creative that you want to do. You're just not sure how to proceed. You've sort of got to the place where you you heard your intuition. You sort of made the first sort of outline of what this would look like, but now you're not sure what to do. You're not sure who to talk to about it. You're not sure who to trust. You're not sure how to get this off the ground. And the tower is already falling apart around you. So you're sort of in limbo here, but you're at a place where you're, very similar to the last reading, where you're kind of in between two worlds, and things are changing so rapidly that cycles are ending and new cycles are beginning almost simultaneously for you right now, and it's causing a bit of a challenge for you. This did sort of get initiated in the recent past. In the recent past, something came along to really give you this infusion of a brand new start, a brand new you, a brand new identity, a brand new sense of security in the physical world, okay? And now, in the present, you're stuck in the sense of worrying about all the details, worrying about how it's going to go, worrying about everything. You're just in a state of concern and worry right now, which is stopping you from sort of experiencing this new beginning. Even though you're sort of already at the place where you're starting to put the dots together, right? Like you have 2 dots on the page and you connected them with a line, and now you're like, now what? So what's coming up in the immediate future is this idea that it's going to change who you are as a leader. You might never have thought of yourself as a leader. And so the idea of challenging you to see yourself as leading something on your own, I have a feeling you're going to do something like self-employment, entrepreneurship. You're not going to be working for anybody. You're going to be your own emperor here. You're going to be the person making the decisions. And that's what's got you sort of going, I don't know how to do that. I'm worried. If I don't have a company that I work for, then who's paying my bills? And what if my clients, like, what if I don't have clients? Then what do I do? You know, you're worrying about every possible thing that could go wrong. But you know you have to do this. You know that you have to balance out and align your own energies so that you can go forward. This is something you're aware is happening. It's challenging you, but you're aware of it. You're aware of this experience, very much so. It's happening and you can feel it. And you know what? The people around you can see it. They can see that you're ending a cycle and it's challenging you, that you're not sure how to keep moving forward, because it's almost like you're overthinking it, and in a negative way. You're staying up at night instead of daydreaming. You're thinking about how bad things could go instead of thinking about how well they could go. You're thinking about how, oh my God, what if I don't have clients that month? What if I don't make any money that month? What if I'm self-employed and there's no work? Then what do I do? What do I do? How am I going to pay the bills? How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to do this? And it's sort of deflating your balloon a bit, right? Like you're ready to get this other life closed out. You got 2 9s here, 9 of Wands and 9 of Swords. So you are closing out a cycle, but it's like even the people around you can see that the end of this current cycle is having an effect on you in a challenging way. Now, your biggest hope and fear here is that, will you be able to connect the vision that you have to the external world? Will you be able to generate change? Will you? You don't know. You're not sure. Are you feeling, is this impulsive what you're doing? That's something you've been asking yourself. You're asking yourself, am I being impulsive, or is it time? It is time. Let me answer that for you. It's time. Based on this reading, it's definitely time. And any sort of questioning that you have in that regard could just be you procrastinating because you don't know what step to take next. Now, if you don't know what step to take next, it's beautiful here. The final guidance card for you here is the Hierophant, which suggests ask. Try and find the truth out. Sometimes the Hierophant shows up because there's a Taurus involved. Sometimes the Hierophant shows up to suggest that you need to tap into some truth here, some universal truth, spiritual truth, the keys of the universe here. Sometimes the Hierophant also shows up because you need guidance. You might need a mentor. You might need some guidance. You might need a mentor. You might meet a mentor in the form of a Taurus maybe, or you know, what other cards do you have here? Chariot is Cancer, could be a Cancer. Emperor is Aries. You know, you might need a spiritual mentor. You might need a practical mentor. You might need a mentor in the field that you're trying to be an entrepreneur in. It looks like you're going to need some assistance with this, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with finding someone to help guide you. You might not have all the answers because it's so unfamiliar. Like if you notice in this 2 of Wands, there is an extension here from someone else. Someone is helping. Someone is offering you a wand, and they're helping you make these connections. So you might need to find someone to help you. You might need a teacher, a mentor, a guide. You need someone to help show you the truth. This is a 5. You need someone to help show you the truth about this situation so that you know how to proceed and what choices to make going forward. Okay. Oh, thank you. And the confidence, because I just rang my my solar plex singing bowl. So you also need to have the confidence to say, I can. Okay? You can do this. You can say I can because you can. Now let's see here, Sag. What do the oracle cards have for you? We have message in a bottle flying. Oh my God, we got so many here. Okay, 4 cards for you. We got message in a bottle, the fates, TikTok. This is awesome. And yin. Okay, so these are the oracle cards you got. So if we start at the bottom with message in a bottle, that suggests that you are going to be receiving some sort of assistance in the form of information. There's something coming to you. It's just taking time. Okay, TikTok suggests that it's taking the exact amount of time it needs to. It's divinely timed. So something is coming to help out. some information. It's going to be an emotional sort of thing. This card always makes me think of an emotional communication. So there's some sort of emotional communication coming in that is fated. Okay, the fate. So whatever, this is all happening because it's prearranged and it's happening on the schedule of divine timing. Okay, so it might not feel divine to you, but it is. It is divine timing. It is fated, and something is coming in the way of a communication that may help clarify it. This communication could be what this Hierophant is. So something is coming in to help clarify this, and you need to tap into your feminine energy, my dear Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius is a fire sign, which is masculine energy, all about life force and vitality and sort of, you know, embracing life fully with your will, drive, and desire. You're not there yet. Right now, Sagittarius, you need to be more open and more creative and less decisive. You need to be open. You need to be open to the truth. You need to be open to new teachers. You need to be open and less resistant to change and endings. You need to just sort of release yourself from these bounds of, you know, worrying. You need to just trust in the fact that you're going down a path here that is meant for you. It's divinely timed. It's fated. And something is coming in the way of a communication to assist you with this, but you need to be open to receive it, okay? And you're not really open if you're sitting in this space. Very interesting. Okay, Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it at that. And that's it. That's the 12 readings. So you got your messages for the week. This video will be posted on Instagram and my YouTube channel with the timestamps so that you're able to find your placements easier. I suggest always listening to your sun, moon, and ascendant or rising sign. And if you don't know what those are, you can contact me for a natal chart, or you can, there's lots of, I don't use them that much, but I hear that there's lots of things on the internet to help you do a quick natal chart. So you can check that out. But it's always really important to sort of try to understand the triad, because that will give you more information. So if you can get your, most people just know their sun sign, because that's where the sun was when you were born. A lot of people know that. But the moon and the ascendant is really how you show up in the world, like how other people see you, how you're perceived, what mask you wear. Whereas where your moon placement is really an expression of your soul's ultimate desire. So, oh, thank you, Monet. Thank you for watching, my dear. I'm so happy you enjoyed it. Hello, Jenny from Belly Up. Thank you guys for joining me. Just at the end, you just missed, but you're actually, both of you, Monet and Belly Up, Sagittarius was just, I hope you caught it. You're both Sagittarius sun. Anyway, I'm sending you guys lots of love and light. Thank you for joining me. I will be doing this every Sunday, noon Mountain Standard Time. And again, it will be posted later on YouTube and Instagram. Okay, take care, everyone. Sending you lots of love and light. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful week.